speaking of burning down the White House posted this, which I thought it was cool. Um, saying which I mean shows that they're taking this very seriously. But in all caps, saying the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. President Donald J. Trump, and they posted this picture um, saying economic warfare against Iran with the White House logo. So I don't
It's a
know. The
fiery
White House is,
post.
yes, it is. They're leaning into this.
All praise to Allah.
Yeah,
All
subhanallah.
praise to Allah.
I like this. They're calling it Economic D-Day, which is fitting.
They love branding. With Trump in the White House, they love to put a good, like, title on it, put a little marketing on it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so let's look at somebody that has a grim take on all of this. Ryan Grimm. He's not happy with any of this. So you guys know that the national debt of United States just hit $40 trillion, right? And now everybody's talking about it, right? That 40 trillion, wow, this is like crazy higher than any country. This is this is a big deal. And Sid, do you want to read this while I
Yeah.
go and find more posts about this?
Okay, just so people understand, it is Trump's Iran's war that is driving the debt and interest rate crisis. Asian economies are tanking because they are starved of oil. That in turn is punishing their currencies, and Japan in particular is selling our bonds to try to prop their currency up. As they sell, that exacerbates the crisis. If Trump truly tries to target Iran economically next week further, it'll be pouring the last gasoline we have right on the fire. We're watching this man break the global financial system for nothing. The deal Iran offered in February was better than what he can or will get now. And we're all going down with him.
All right, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, so I would just say, like, just right off the bat, this is totally disqualifying. So he said, just so people understand, it is Trump's Iran war that is driving the debt and interest rate crisis. Okay. It is Trump's Iran's war that is driving the debt and interest rate crisis. I don't believe for a second, I don't believe for a second that Ryan Grimm's economic policy is deflationary. So this is just politics, man. This is just politics. If Ryan Grimm was in charge, we would be spending a lot more.
I would like to comment on this. When we look at the debt, there's two numbers. There's the U.S. government accounts and trust funds. That's 7.78 trillion. And the publicly held debt is 32.2 trillion. What's that publicly held debt? That's the part that held that, whoever owns treasury bills, notes, and bonds. Right? So that's everyone that invested in America. That means that everybody that holds that debt does not want to see America go down because what they're holding would go down. You understand what I'm saying? And I may have a cursory understanding of this. Armin probably understands this part of the debt more than I do because you've spoken about like debt is not necessarily a bad thing before. And maybe you can expound on that.
Yeah, people assume debt going up always mean it's a bad thing. It could be a bad thing, but sometimes debt not going up is a bad thing. United States projected growth is very, very high. We are right before the peak of the fourth industrial revolution, where everything is about to change in robotics and AI, and it's a winner take all kind of situation where it's actually, unlike most things, this is actually a win lose. It's going to be a first place winner, and everyone else will be so far behind. Then the first place winner is just going to dominate anybody else who's not going to be in the first place. So not holding a lot of debt, that means that you're leaving opportunity on the table. Not having a lot of debt, that means that you're not borrowing and taking advantage of all the investments that you could be making and all the infrastructure that you could be building to prepare for taking advantage of all the opportunities that the fourth industrial revolution is going to provide for you. The United States has a lot of debt, and that's why the United States has a lot of capital to play with. And we are entering into an era where whoever has the most capital is going to win. So even if interest rates go higher, as long as there's a huge distance between the interest rates and the rate of return on all the projects that we are going to be investing in, the gap between the interest rates and the returns on all of these projects is an arbitrage that everybody should be taking advantage of. And I think the United States is in a great position to take advantage of all of that. And I think going forward, we might get into a situation where we're going to get such high levels of productivity that inflation is not what we need to worry about. That deflation is going to be something that we need to be worried about in the near future.
Yeah, so that's a great point, Armin. I mean, it's interesting because I keep seeing this reports from Europe and economic analyses about how Mississippi is richer than this country and that country and this country and that country. Okay, so I mean, I think people don't really appreciate. I mean, this is Ryan Grimm. I find Ryan Grimm to be, whether intentional or not, um, pretty much down the line a demoralization agent. I'm not saying that he's not sharing his strongly held beliefs, but I think that it tends to just go in one direction, which is America bad. And you know, I think that America can be better. I think that we have some bad policies, and we need to improve those policies. We have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of problems there that we have to improve. There's no doubt about that. But I think that Grimm is comparing America to a fantasy utopia rather than looking on the ground. So Armin is talking about this, fourth industrial revolution. And as far as I can see, there's really nobody else in the game except for China. So there's just two competitors on the field right now. Everybody else is sort of not bothering to participate. Okay, so China is a threat. China is a real player. I think China has some big disadvantages too that Ryan Grimm never talks about because he's intentionally or not a demoralization agent. But there's a lot to be optimistic about America, and that doesn't mean that everything is cool and we can just sit back and put our feet up and enjoy the wealth. No, we have to work hard, but it's worth doing. And if we do it, we will win.
Yeah, and also this is like this debt being at this level and interest rates going higher would have happened regardless of the war with the Islamic Republic. Like it's not directly connected to that. We would have reached here anyways.
Yeah, and I believe we would have reached here faster if Ryan Grimm was in charge.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, and the only place where interest rates for debt is not rising is in China, and it's not for good reasons.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.